Imagine a curse. You can never sleep again. Not for a night. Not for an hour. Never. You know that sleep is the only thing keeping your mind anchored to reality. And you are watching that tether fray until it snaps. This is the true story of a nightmare and the family line it haunts. This is the story of fatal familial insomnia. Our grim tale begins in Venice, Italy, in 1979. We focus on Silvano, a dedicated family man, successful travel agent, and pillar of his community. He was 45 years old, in the prime of his life, and completely healthy. Then, the clock started ticking. It started innocently enough. A slight tremor, a little more sweat. But soon, Silvano began to notice the truly disturbing part. He couldn't sleep. It wasn't stress. When he closed his eyes, his mind raced. He would lie in bed, rigid and burning up, watching the digital clock flip from one impossible hour to the next. He tried everything: warm milk, medication, reading. Nothing worked. Within weeks, the lack of sleep became the terrifying focus of his life. The world began to tilt. His tremors became violent spasms. He started sweating uncontrollably, his pupils shrinking to pinpricks. His once sharp mind began to stutter. He couldn't concentrate on his job. His mood became wildly volatile, and he slipped into a fog of paranoid delirium. Silvano wasn't just tired. He was being actively tortured. He'd walk into his house and not recognize his own furniture. He'd look in the mirror and see a wild-eyed, decaying stranger. It was a slow, deliberate demolition of his entire being. Silvano's family rushed him to every specialist. Doctors were completely baffled. They saw symptoms of dementia, Parkinson's, and severe psychiatric breakdown. Yet none of the standard tests could explain the cause. The only horrifying constant was that his brain refused to shut down. This is where the story deepens. Silvano's wife, seeing his rapid decline, began digging through old family medical records. She started tracing the lineage of strange, swift declines in previous generations of Silvano's family, and she found it. For decades, the family had told a hushed, disturbing story about a cursed illness, an affliction that targeted men in their late 40s, stealing their ability to sleep before killing them quickly. It was a dark family legend. The symptoms Silvano had were identical to those that had claimed his uncle and a great-aunt decades before. This was not random. It was an inheritance. Silvano was admitted to the University of Bologna's Sleep Institute. There, his doctor, Dr. Ignazio Reuter, became obsessed with finding the true cause. The grim diagnosis was finally confirmed: fatal familial insomnia, or FFI. FFI is not a virus. It is caused by something far more sinister: prions. Prions are misfolded, malicious proteins that already exist in your brain. A tiny genetic mutation causes these proteins to change their shape, becoming toxic. These prions begin to accumulate like sludge, specifically attacking the thalamus, the region of the brain responsible for regulating sleep, temperature, and emotion. The horror is that the damage is structural. These prions chew holes into the brain tissue, turning parts of the thalamus into a sponge. It literally hollows out the brain's sleep center. Silvano was now in the final stage. The doctors tried heroic measures, but FFI is relentless. It doesn't target the mechanism of sleep. It targets the part of the brain that allows the mechanism to work. It's like turning off the electricity to a television that has been programmed to never turn off. Silvano slipped into a permanent waking nightmare. He entered a state of continuous vigil, conscious but no longer capable of connecting with reality. His brain denied rest, generated horrifying hallucinations. He would stare at the ceiling, terrified of invisible threats. After only 9 months of hell, Silvano passed away. The autopsy confirmed the terrifying truth. His thalamus was riddled with microscopic holes, eaten away by the mutant prions. The grim reality of FFI is that once symptoms appear, the disease is 100% fatal within 7 to 36 months. There is no cure. Dr. Reuter discovered that the FFI gene mutation is passed down. Once a family member carries the gene, there is a 50% chance that every one of their children will inherit the same death sentence. Today, only about 40 families worldwide are known to carry the FFI mutation. They live with an unthinkable sword of Damocles hanging over them, knowing they might be the next one to feel the tremors, the sweats, and then the chilling, definitive moment when they realize the NAP has been denied. This is not just a medical anomaly, it is an existential terror, reminding us that the most fundamental thing our body does, sleep, is the only barrier between us and an absolute, irreversible descent into madness.